like I think Carolina rolled their Stanley Cup appearance to like a fairly dedicated fan base considering their location. Um, I'm under the understanding that both Dallas and Tampa have fairly dedicated fan bases. Of course it helps and it buys you longevity and a toehold in the market. Is that what we were talking about?
A little bit.
Okay.
A little bit.
I forgot the tangent. I did have a point, but I kind of got sidetracked.
You know, 14, 20, we're into our third or fourth beer out here. Sometimes you start thinking about everything else. If you could compare to, let's go two baseball teams, like you said, and teams we watched over the years, and you're not a Jays fan by any means, but we watched them being from Canada. It was on the forefront. Compare the 2015-16 Jays that were going to almost win the World Series, had some good chances, to teams that won the World Series in 92 and 93. If you had those two teams play each other, who'd win?
Oh, I'm Whamco all the way, man.
Well, they had Rick.
Yeah, but he's not even a part of Whamco. I think wasn't Ricky? He was on the second team.
He was on the
yeah. They said
they actually spelled Whamco with an H in the Whamco in the
yeah. But yeah, no, and again, they traded Dave Winfield for they didn't trade him, but like they let go of Dave Winfield and then they took Ricky.
Awesome. It's time to go.
Yeah, Ricky used to, but anyways, no, I'd be all team Whamco on that one. I found the Jays team of 5 years ago, like, or whenever that Bautista thing was, I found them very unlikable. I didn't like anybody on that
I
team.
felt the same way, but I quite liked it for the fact that living in Medicine Hat at the time, I quite liked it that the city got involved watching baseball a lot more. And
I'll agree with that all the way.
And if you go down to the local establishment and watch a game, there are people like, hey, this is great. And people are watching games. And I thought, like, being a baseball fan, especially in dog days of August where no one's watching the games, I loved it personally. There's one place down, it became a baseball bar, and it's not that at all anymore. Local, it's called Local. And it became a baseball bar where there was always Jays fans watching games and everything else. And it was a lot of fun. It's funny you say that because you have a disdain for Kelly Gruber, but the 2015 team you say is worse with the team with Josh Donaldson, who was an MVP.
Oh, I never hated Kelly Gruber. I don't know where you got that from. I was a big fan of the team when they went the first time.
Sorry, Pat Border. Sorry.
I don't have a disdain for him. I just don't like. He's a World Series MVP. That's the thing that makes me scratch my head about that dude. He's a World Series MVP.
Yeah, it's you go through that lineup, like who played first base, Olerud, and then who played first base for those years? Don't like in the 15.
Well, I remember, Olerud did, and then Joe Carter. They put John Olerud, who hit like 385 for the year. He actually was flirting with 400.
Yeah.
And then he's in the National League Parks. He was on the bench, and they put Joe Carter at first.
Crazy. You look at other franchise, other teams, and who would beat who. Basketball is another one. I think you could kind of compare it to, because defense, but not you can't go from 50s to 90s. You just can't. Like you just can't.
Well, could you imagine any of the NBA playing against the Pistons of today? I'd like to see that, just even though I hated that Pistons team.
Yeah.
Like, that was rough basketball.
And now the greatest player ever to be playing right now, he gets blown on. He falls over and he's diving all over the place.
He's such a flopper. And I don't understand why he does that. He doesn't have to do that.
He doesn't have to do that. And I don't understand that. Like, if
you're so fucking good and you're still doing this cheap high school shit.
if you're worried about losing a game by a regular season game in what month we were in February by 2 points and you need that free throw, be better throughout the fucking game.
Well, but he's doing it in game 21 of a COVID season,
Well, that's what
for
I'm getting
fuck's
at.
sake.
Like
Yeah.
be better. If you need to do that crap to win a game in this time of year, be better throughout the game so you don't have to do that.
Yeah. Or just don't.
On that note, and we'll change the subject completely, but on the same note about everything is obviously better back then. We talked about that before. Would they have gotten away with that crap 20 years ago? Guys were held more accountable back then, I think.
Yeah. There was more of a machismo thing too.
Like in hockey and baseball and basketball, I don't know so much about football. Like guys would get hammered, getting laid out, whatever, different ways of hitting. But guys, if they pulled that crap back then, you'd have the Hatcher brothers fucking like, dude, I'm gonna pitchfork you over into the third deck. Just
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not saying it's right, but were players held more accountable 20 years ago, 30 years ago than they are now?
I just think the flopping is just nothing that ever really occurred to him. It's just not something we do.
Well,
Like who was a faker? Like try and think of a renowned faker from back in the day.
who was a famous like Ken Linsman, maybe, but he was also a
Yeah. But yeah, he was a pass. Like he was in your face, and yeah, and if when you took that swing at him, then he'd overreact.
Simple point, Dave. There was no such thing as a diving penalty back 20 years ago because there wasn't diving.
Yeah, that's also, yeah, exactly, without a doubt. And there was no cry for it either.
Yeah, there wasn't a need to have a phantom penalty because it didn't happen on a regular basis.
Right.
And is sport better? Okay, here it is. Let's not go 70s. Let's not go 80s. Because I think there were kind of both bullshit eras in sport. What's the golden era of sport?
Oh, no. Well, probably. I don't know, the 80s, there were some great performances. I would say, yeah, for myself personally, when I was most invested and really enjoyed and was really getting into being a sports fan, I would say the 90s, or like 87 and 97, if you wanted 10 years.
You had some dynasties. You had some of the greatest players ever play the game. You seen some miraculous things. You had Cal Ripken doing his thing. You had
Gretzky, Montana,
home run chases, Super Bowl champions.
Mike Tyson
with boxing. I think the golden era of sport was the 90s, and I'm sure somebody who's got 20 years on us will tell us something different for sure. But you look in the history books and you don't see a lot of history.
I don't know what you mean by that, because I am a bit of a buff. I get lost in that's what I miss. I used to buy the sports almanac every year, and I would just read it. Like that was my toilet book, and I would just read it. And I don't buy those books anymore because I got a phone. But like I should make a point of getting sports trivia in print and reading it again, because I love that.
Well, that's the one thing I dislike about not flying and traveling and going places anymore. Because I would still buy a Sports Illustrated print edition and read it on the airplane, cover to cover, back and forth every time. And the one article that always I loved was the "Where Are They Now" on the back. Where are they? Like, and
you had the 5 kids in the front, up and comers, and on the back it's the "Where Are They Now."
The up and comers and the "Where Are They coming?" So being the end, it was a nostalgia roll or what's happening, but you can never compare. And when people try to compare athletes of the day, it's an impossible task because
no, without a doubt, especially like today, and I think we touched upon it, like Tom Brady just won a Super Bowl MVP on the same at the same age where like Elway, Aikman, and Marino all got elected into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Like it's just like the science and the workout and body preservation is such a science now that
Yeah, they aren't smoking cigarettes
it's a different athlete.
drinking 15 beers during the off season by any means. Like it's not a thing anymore.
Yeah, Tuesday ain't pizza night when you're a professional athlete anymore.
My God,
It's boiled chicken with poached eggs on multi-grain quinoa toast.
When on that pace, before we go on to the next topic, on that note, Dave, you're 51 and COVID's over. We're going to pubs. We're having a good time. When are you going to not be wing guy and become fish and chip guy?
I'm already. I've been fish and chip guy forever, dude. I love fish and chips. That's one of the, one of my rules of pub food is like, I eat this shit because I don't have a deep fryer at home. So I love chicken wings and I love fish and chips and I love French fries. But because you can't make that shit properly at home without sticking on.
When are you expecting the rest of us to join you for fish and chip night? When they said, because
sorry. I thought you meant just as an order. Oh, I completely apologize. I'm all wing night. I've never gone to fish and chip night anywhere.
That's
and I don't anticipate.
How many more years you got left in you before it's fish and chip night with the boys, as opposed to wing night with the boys?
Well, if they do it on a Monday night or a Thursday night, why the fuck wouldn't you?
There you go.
A lot quieter, and then like we'll probably have like some kind of listening devices so you can play it loud for our ears at the table.
There you go. Yeah. 777 for fish and chips.
with one draft beer or something like that.
Draft beer and 777 for the smallest draft beer you ever seen.
We're a demographic that's getting older. I don't know if the young why not? Like I would prefer that to Shank some days probably right now.
There you go. Anyways, it's a funny thing. It's a funny thing. Anyways. Good show. We had a little small glitch compared to what we've had in the past. Make sure you tell your friends and everybody else about the 1420 podcast with our new and improved 1420 podcast. Sounds great tonight. We're going to try to edit some of this stuff tonight that we have. We're recording on Zoom. Maybe put some up on Facebook or Twitter. We'll have you'll see them out there. Make sure you talk to your friends about the show because it's one of our better ones in a long time. Not that any have been bad. This one's tops it off a little bit, and I think we're a little better spirits because of the sound quality. After a short little break, I had a beer and Dave had a beer, and I think Dave maybe had a cigarette or two, and we're back live and for your listening pleasure. One of my favorite parts of the week, and we've discussed this in the past, and they get a lot of laughs and everything else, and I laugh more than most about them. Dave, give me this week's Would You Rather.
Would you rather be a ball boy at the US Open tennis tournament or a ball spotter at the US Open golf tournament?
How old am I?
18.
18. I'm a ball boy at the US Open tennis tournament. There's no doubt in my mind. The where you're sitting, and not so much the ball boy like Kramer was at the net and on Seinfeld, but the guy getting the balls on the back end for serves that go wide.
And then he just holds his hand up and like he's waiting to throw the ball in for the serve kind of thing.
The reason why, Dave, is because most of those tennis players have very nice, firm bodies. Not that you're picking up a tennis player at all when you're 18 years old and they're multimillionaires or anything else, and you're just the ball boy at the US Open. But the view must be just fantastic.
So you're talking on a creep factor is why you're going to do that?
Absolutely,
Oh,
man.
I am so 100% disappointed on that.
Absolutely. An 18-year-old ball boy at the US Open looking at Anna Kournikova's assets. Absolutely. Rather than crawling through the bushes for Tiger Woods golf ball, it's not even comparable, man.
Like the creep factor never once even entered into my mind.
You're getting old, man.
I would I'm a fan of the sport though, man. Like I like the creep factor. Like you can creep on that, like in the stands and stuff like that. I get it, but no, I'm a little disappointed in that, in your reasoning for your answer tonight.
Like crawling into the bush to find a guy's ball. Go fight. You hit it there. Go get it yourself, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah, I know. I totally understand that, but also once again, it's the best of the world, and like it depends on your placement, obviously. Like, but you would when you're not looking for balls, you got a front row seat to the best golfers in the world walking by you.
Yeah, when I'm not looking for tennis balls either, I'm looking at something pretty good when I'm 18 years old. You
See, but then you probably would have got canned
said
because you.
18.
Yeah, I did say 18, but you probably would have got canned because you would have been leering as opposed to doing your job. They'd be like, you would be the guy. Like you would make the highlight reel.
The CBS cameras are like, look at this cat just glaring at this. Like, my God.
You have to be reminded to throw your balls, and like they're forgetting. Like you get replaced after like the second set, man.
And dribbling her ball to her, not just throwing them to her, so I can get a little bit of cleavage. Oh yeah, a creepazoid for sure.
Constantly adjusting your shorts.
Definitely a creepazoid. Age of 18, I'm chasing tennis balls, throwing them to hot girls, not looking after Fuzzy Zeller's golf ball in the bush.
Well, we're gonna drop this subject and just say I've never been more disappointed by one of your would you rather answers.
Well, Dave, I think you've been more disappointed in me before. But anyways, funny little thing I saw earlier today, and I don't know why I didn't pick up on it years and years ago. The Major League Baseball symbol hasn't changed in my lifetime. Dave, and I want to do a giveaway. I got a prize I have set up for this. You look at that emblem. What hand does the guy on that emblem bat? Is he a righty or a lefty?
He's a righty. This is taken from his back. This is taken from behind the batter.
100%.
I'm trying to picture him as a lefty here now. Yeah, 100%. Like the ball should be nowhere there. Like the ball doesn't make sense for where the batter and his bat is situated. Because he should that might be an HBP right there.
So you got it right.
But nonetheless, he's batting
very
right.
sure about this.
That's my answer. Like I realize I'm being set up here.
No, you're not.
But
he's it's a long-standing question. I did some research on it. It's a long-standing question. Is your righty lefty? The hand placement. It's very well done. The artist. Anyways, Dave. For people who listen, we're going to pick a date middle of March, March 15th. Dave, good enough. What's a date?
March 15th sounds good.
What's the date in March that we're going to be recording on? March 16th. It's a Tuesday.
The day before St. Patty's Day.
March 16th. You guys have your chance to get into. I'll put the what the giveaway is on the 1420 podcast social media accounts. What Dave said, because that makes you want to have to listen. What Dave said, what the answer was, put it in the DMs and the PMs and get the hotline, whatever it is. What Dave said, what the MLB guy, what hand he bats. Dave said righty. He didn't sound exactly sure about it, but we'll run with that. But he's looking at it right now on the Zoom. I can sense it right now.
But that is my answer. There's still no way that's not my answer.
With a right-hander, and there isn't a right or wrong answer at all. Like it's been a long-standing debate for sure. And anyways, Major League Baseball spring training game starts Sunday. The Yankees and the the Jays play on Sunday morning. Dave, I'm going to give you a few questions here. If you sat in the stands for a spring training game, because the games don't matter whatsoever, so the conversations would flow a little bit more than they would during a game that mattered. I'll give you some questions. I want to hear your answers, and then we'll debate on them a little bit. Sound good?
I'm ready to go.
Here we go. First one, and this one I think is it's a tough one. What would be the hardest position in baseball to play?
Back catcher.
Why so?
Toil on the body. You got to be ready to go, like taking your gear, taking off your gear, foul tip, collisions of the plate, being able to handle pitchers like them shaking you off. You're setting the defenses. You're the guy that gets to look out there, and you can see if something's wrong before anyone else.
You're a what's the word I'm looking for? Argumentative, as am I.
I don't understand how that's argumentative. Like,
No,
I think the catchers.
no.
Oh, sorry.
The next.
Okay.
If you were a catcher and a pitcher shook you off, what would your response be?
Well, like we've said on the podcast, my favorite movie, one of my favorite movies of all time, is Bull Durham. Can you believe this motherfucker? He's pitching a 2-header in the 7th inning, and he's shaking me off.
Shaking me off.
Here comes the deuce. Is what he says to
me. I agree, man. I agree. Throw that.
Man, he teed off on that like he knew I was throwing it. He did.
I told him. Next question, Dave. How do I word this properly? Okay, well, here it is. You're going to a game, you and Jasper. Should an adult fan bring a ball glove to a game?
Not to a Bulls game.
A
Bulls game. Yeah, to a ball game, yes. Like, so, like the games that I've brought my son to are Bulls. But if we were as a one, it'd be a fun thing to do. I would not do it, but I would forgive a father for being with his family and carrying a ball glove.
I personally think if the father and son, uncle, nephew, uncle,
whoever wants to bring a glove, like the girls,
I think,
the mom.
I think that if an adult and a child go to the game together, you can. But if dude walks in by himself with a mitt,
or even on the date with mom or the girlfriend or whoever he's trying to woo, no. Children have to be involved.
So if the producer and I went to the game together, if I wouldn't, if she brought a glove, what if she brought a glove?
If she wants to, yeah. See, this is a double standard. You got to be careful of these traps. But I don't think any adult cannot bring a glove without a child to a ball game. No adult may.
You wouldn't catch it with a glove, but that's just looking over there, just evil eyeing me. Quite a terrible thing. Is it okay to do the wave?
Maybe. I've done the wave, and I've been part of the wave. I took quite a hiatus from the wave.
Is that another thing? If there's a youth,
my son loves the wave.
So there's attendance, you can do the wave.
Yes, and you know what? There is nothing wrong with a wave, like at a good point. But the wave for the sake of the wave, I'm not getting behind that.
Yeah, I'm not
on the subsection B. Do you ever do
I did it a little bit on the field in a WCBL game a couple years ago. My hands didn't go above my head, but I was kind of doing it a little bit for the crowds, and they were kind of laughing a little bit. And the last time I fully did it was my first time at Yankee Stadium, because the grounds crew does it in the 6th inning when they're doing the field, and they do the one, and I joined in. It's a tradition, and that's the only time I've ever done it. So
Okay, yeah, because that is.
So 2013 was the last time I fully was involved in the wave.
And it was a special occasion.
Yeah. I don't do it on a Tuesday at the Bulls game.
No, there is a time, and I think like as we age, there is a time and place for anything, and like the YMCA and the wave, but very specific time and place.
Yeah, there's got to be a certain crowd and everything else. There's no doubt about that. I think we talked about this last week. Peanuts or Cracker Jacks? And when's the last time you had Cracker Jacks?
Couldn't tell you when.
Yeah.
Because caramel corn is not such a thing. Like you got the kernels and that white cheddar and shit like that. And I am more of a savory guy. So there's that really good, big, huge bag you can get at Costco. Can't remember, but it has like caramel and cheddar. Popcorn is such a good popcorn is everywhere now. Whereas Cracker Jacks and what was that pink elephant popcorn? Remember that?
Circus something. What there was?
Yeah, it was in a white box with a black elephant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was pink and it was pretty tasty. I was pretty excited to get my hands on that as a kid too.
Yeah. What was that called? I think it was Pink Elephant or Circus something. I can't remember. Whatever.
It was circus thing, but yeah, Pink Elephant. Anyways.
Looking back, now you like everybody now has a different look, not their own personal look in a baseball uniform. Are you a fan of the pants at the knees with the stirrups, or the long pants can't see the socks?
I appreciate both, but I hate it when it's done bad. I hate the pajama bottoms. Like when it's just saggy, like some pictures they look like jammies.
Yeah.
Like it's rolling up at the ankles. I like to see some syrup, but I'm not, whatever you want to do. I'm glad baseball lets the players kind of tailor their uniform to what they want to do.
Like your favorite shortstop of all time, Derek Jeter. He always looked good out there. The cuff was always proper. It was always fantastic. He was just that was a good looking man on the field. It's not my fault that he's your favorite shortstop.
What about Ricky and his stirrups? Because he had the stirrups and he rocked them stirrups.
Rick's stirrups were something else. They
made him look faster.
The way he pulled them up. Two more. I got two more. Are bat flips cool?
Once again, dependent, time and place. Like going back to that Jace team, I didn't like that the infamous Batista bat flip. That was douchebaggery at its finest, I think.
Dave, I thought that as well when it first happened, but the emotion of that inning, how it all rolled about with the Russell Martin hit it into I think Shinju Chu's arm, and the ball rolled away, and the beers getting thrown at Sky Dome, and the emotion of that game. I thought it was the worst thing in the world because I'm a baseball purist. I am. It's awful because it's stupid actually. Like you look back at things, I don't like it because I'm old. That's how people think. But I like looking back on the emotion of that inning, the Bautista bat flip. I hate Bautista. Don't get me wrong. I can't stand the guy. But the emotion of that inning, I can kind of justify it a little bit.
Sure, I'll give you that. I'm not going to hold it against you because you think about that.
Yeah.
I think it was douchebaggery, and I always will.
Yeah.
Do you know why? Because he's a douchebag.
Yeah.
Right.
If
So, but like back to the bat flip, I don't mind like a little bit of flair tossing the bat and stuff like that. But
But
like the over the top,
it's
this
shake and twist down the line.
yeah, and he just let it like pop out of his hands like bat flip, like he
He does a
didn't
little
drop
snap.
it. It was
He snap his fingers. Like Rick could do no wrong, hey?
yeah, and the kid Griff had a nice little bat flip too, but it wasn't.
The 1420 podcast, also known as the Ricky Henderson Fan Club podcast. I love that guy. Anyways, the very last one, and we touched on it briefly in the past about broadcasters who bring up certain things throughout the game. It happens in hockey. They talk about shutouts. Vin Scully said it the best. I'll give your thoughts on it. Should you ever say the words in the stands, because a broadcaster is millions of people, should you ever say the words in the stands, you sit in the bleachers, no hitter?
Nope. Nope.
Never.
No.
100% agree. 100.
Like why? Like just why? Like why be the person that might like I'm not superstitious, but I have mild superstition. I knock on wood all the time. I try not to jinx the thing. Even though I could think about it all the time. And it's sports particularly like it's where I do carry a little bit of superstition, which makes sports fun.
If
I'm
you're
not gonna be the guy to fuck that no hitter up because I said no hitter.
if you're sitting, let's say that game you guys all came to it at Henderson, aka Spitz, a couple of years back. Now, geez, man, it's a couple of years ago now. All of a sudden, there was 6 or 7 of you guys, and then plus my parents and the Davises, and a lot of that. There was a lot of people out there. Let's just say if there was a no hitter being thrown in that game, if it went to the 5th or the 6th, do you lean over to your buddy and go, "Hey, man, this guy's got a no hitter going"? Like what's the
Someone would have, yeah, someone would have said that to me before. I would have said it to anybody. That's guaranteed. And then I don't know. It's been a while. So, like I'd probably. What would I say? I'd say probably, hey, you're not supposed to say anything about it, or did I just play dumb
or just
and say didn't notice?
yeah? No, it's a
Didn't
thing.
notice.
Like what inning does somebody finally go, "Hey, man, this guy's got it"?
I'm a geek though. Like when I'm watching a ball game, I know and like okay, I don't have to. I watch for the first hit.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I come to a game, if I'm channel surfing and I see a game and there's 6 inning and it's a no hitter, I'm gonna watch that game because I want to see the no hitter. And then
Well, we talked about last week that or a couple weeks back when they put it on the app. It says no hitter alert, so you tune in, and as soon as you tune in, there's fucking hit every time. Pretty
yeah,
much
it's my fault.
clockwork. As soon as everybody, because then you send the message, "Hey, no hitter alert," and blah blah blah, and then there's a hit before you can even tune the game on. No, it's gonna be interesting. It's the going to a baseball.
These young pitchers. Oops, sorry. Back to that point. These young pitchers who might be familiar with this app now and everything. Like, would that be in their heads? Like, if I make it to the 7th inning, there's going to be 1 million people watching this game as I'm pitching for Milwaukee against Tampa Bay.
Whereas why would I tune into that? Like I'm a baseball dork, but on a Saturday afternoon, I'm watching a different game. I'm not watching Milwaukee and frickin' Tampa.
Yeah, but that's not your reason to watch that game.
Because those guys, they have devices. There's apps going on in the dugout, and then downstairs and everything else. It's just like, oh, there was 40,000 people watching this game, including television. Now all of a sudden, there's 4 million watching this.
Yeah.
That's a lot, man. That's a lot. The butthole must just clench right up.
Well, to know about it, right? Like, and I don't know what that affects. It's just an observation. I thought.
Yeah, no, it's fun. Anyways, Dave, good show tonight. I really appreciate the patience you've had with me to get this thing kind of straightened on the straight and narrow. We had some struggles with it. No, we had bad shows. Just some weren't as good as others.
We had bad audios.
Bad audios. The content's never bad. Never, ever. Well, I shouldn't say the content's never bad. We said some stupid things over the months. Anyways, that was show.
All killer, no filler.
Yeah, that was show 68. There's a lot more coming at your way. Big plans this weekend, my friend?
No, just we'll let Mother Nature decide what we get up to and where we do it. But yeah, things going well in Lethbridge, Alberta.
When you putting when you putting in the bedding flowers in and stuff? We're getting to March this week. Right?
Oh Jesus, that's not till May.
Oh, you don't go into April?
Oh God, no! It would die. Like we got no chance, man. I mean, that's a May long weekend, sure.
That's zero faith in humanity, my friend.
I have no. You have no idea what you're talking about. How many years have you been bidding out plants?
Last year when we had to play there, we planted some plants and things that I have no idea, man. Me planting things, planting buds is like putting Budweisers in the garage. I don't know. I have no idea.
If you do it before May long weekend, you're
asking
literally. Yeah, you might as well just plant 20s in the soil.
20. Yeah, back when the world loved oil, they were hungies, my friend. Anyways, any closing remarks, my friend?
Nope, not at all. I hope everybody listening tonight. Sorry once again for the shit audio. Frustrated me as well. We're on the right track now, I hope, and sooner or later we're gonna do this together again and take all this technology out of the question.
Yeah, there's 2 more steps that got to be hit. I'm going to wake the producer up. She's having a little nappy poo right now because it's going to be a long night for her to make sure this is all set up right. If I click the mouse twice right from here on in, we're good. Anyways, here's hoping it all turned out well because I think it was a really good show. We'll have some laughs and make sure you guys talk to your friends about the show. It was a fun one tonight. There's some better ones coming up. Everything's on full bore. Spring and summer coming up, and there'll be a lot of good times to talk. Anyways, take care of each other, but more importantly, take care of yourself because we need you around. Dave, keep your stick on the ice
and don't swing at any high pitches.
There you go. Have a good weekend, folks. We'll talk to you on Saturday.